In the heart of the wild, survival often means every animal looks out for itself. But sometimes, nature surprises us. When a mighty lion found itself helplessly trapped, an unexpected group of rescuers appeared. What the monkeys did next was so extraordinary, it defied everything we thought we knew about the animal kingdom. The sun hung low over the African savanna, casting golden beams across the swaying grasses. A gentle, warm wind drifted through the plains, carrying 1,000 scents, the perfume of dry earth, the musk of distant herds, and something new, something fresh. Lewin, a powerful male lion in his prime, moved through it all with deliberate, commanding grace. His mane, streaked with dust and sunlight, rippled with each powerful step. Lewin wasn't merely wandering, he was hunting, driven by a sharp, insistent hunger gnawing at his belly. Then he caught it, a rich, unmistakable scent of fresh meat. His eyes narrowed as he followed the trail, weaving through the golden grass toward a lone acacia tree, where the prize seemed almost offered by the land itself. A generous cut of raw flesh lay in the grass, but something felt wrong. The meat was too clean, too perfect, too still. For a brief moment, Lewin hesitated, a flicker of unease stirring in his instincts, but hunger roared louder. He stepped forward, and with one bite, a snap rang out. A thunderous roar shattered the stillness as a hidden net exploded upward, lifting Lewin violently into the air. Limbs tangled, muscle straining, he was caught not by predator or prey, but by something far more dangerous: man. Across the sunlit branches of a nearby fig tree, the rustling began soft at first, then louder. A troop of 10 vervet monkeys full of mischief and mirth had heard the roar. Among them was Chuckles, the oldest and cleverest to the group, a wiry fellow with quick eyes and a knack for spotting trouble. They bounded toward the commotion, swinging branch to branch, tails high in curiosity aflame. There, hanging awkwardly from the acacia, was Lewin, the king of these plains, now snared like a common thief in a hunter's trap. The monkeys paused, then erupted into a chorus of hoots and screeches. They pointed, bounced, and giggled. The lion. Their lion was helpless and tangled. Some hurled twigs. Others poked the net from a distance, emboldened by the safety of ropes and height. Lewin's growl rumbled deep, but his power meant nothing. Now, his flanks heaved with each breath, and one great paw was twisted, bleeding against the mesh. The fire in his eyes had dulled, not with fear, but pain and pride. Slowly, the laughter died. Chuckles descended from the branches and stood still around him. The troop quieted. Something had shifted from mockery to concern. The jungle, it seemed, had just remembered its balance. Chuckles tilted his head, eyes narrowing with purpose. With a sharp trill, he signaled to the others. The troop responded instinctively. The teasing was over. I came to work. 2 monkeys climbed the tree, nimble fingers tugging at the knot above where the net clung to the branch. Others leaped onto the mesh itself, hanging from its sides, chewing furiously at the coarse twine. One brave youngster, Beans, scrambled up by Lewin's side, reaching for a tight strap near the lion's shoulder. His teeth met resistance. The rope was thick, soaked with tension and time. He bit harder, but his grip faltered with a squeak. He slipped only to be caught, made by a companion's outstretched arms. Below, the effort intensified. Little hands pulled, stretched, and tugged. Lewin groaned, the sound deep and weary. His muscles were trembling from hours of suspended strain. The sun hovered lower, casting golden streaks through the grassland. The monkeys, though tireless in spirit, were beginning to falter. One by one, they dropped to the ground. Panting, Chuckles stood apart, chest heaving, gaze fixed on the horizon, and then he saw it far beyond the tall savanna grass. Glinting in the sunlight stood the tower of the ranger station. A bold decision took root. In his mind, there was still hope, but it would mean leaving the troop behind. Chuckles climbed swiftly. He ascended to the highest limb of the fig tree below him. The others watched in silence, a rare stillness among monkeys. He turned once more toward Lewin, still suspended, still suffering. Then, they faced the horizon. The ranger station lay beyond the thornveld and across the open grassland, a dangerous path, especially for one so small. But Chuckles had made his choice. With a deep breath, he leaped, branch to branch. He flew like the wind carried, leaving his tiny heart pounding. He dodged the shadow of a hawk circling above, curled thorny shrubs that reached like claws from the earth, and soared past a startled herd of impalas scattering in alarm. At last, the familiar clearing opened before him. The ranger station is inside. Ranger Harold, a man whose boots had long since molded to the rhythm of the land, was polishing his binoculars. When a sharp thumping broke his focus, he turned to the window, a monkey screeching, desperate. Chuckles pointed, yanked, pleaded, and Harold, a man who had seen too much to doubt, instinct grabbed his kit and followed. Guided by Chuckles' urgent leaps and shrill calls, Ranger Harold moved swiftly through the tangled underbrush. His boots crushed dry leaves and snapped twigs beneath them. Yet the monkey never slowed, a living compass fueled by purpose. At last, they emerged into a small clearing, where beneath the broad crown of the acacia hung the lion. Lewin Harold stopped cold. The once mighty beast now dangled in eerie silence. His great chest rose and fell in slow, labored rhythm. No roar, no defiance, only fatigue. His golden eyes met Harold, not with anger, but with a quiet pleading. "Trust a poacher's net," Harold muttered grimly, recognizing the crew. Designed tightly wound, barbed with hooks. Without hesitation, he unpacked his gear, a collapsible ladder, a hunting knife, a coil of climbing rope, and then up he went, the monkeys suddenly calm. Move into action again. One held the ladder steady, another swung down to pass Harold. It was as though two species long at odds had reached a silent truth with steady hands. Harold slides through the final cord, the net gave way. Lewin dropped, not with a crash, but a thud softened by the earth. Eyes fluttering, still breathing. He was free. The great lion lay still, sprawled across the sun-warmed earth. His sides heaved with exhaustion, and his massive paws twitched faintly, the last echoes of a struggle that had nearly claimed his life. Ranger Harold approached slowly, water bottle in hand, a small tin of antiseptic tucked under one arm. Every movement was careful, deliberate. He knew better than to startle a wounded predator. It's something in Rue's eyes, a flicker of understanding, perhaps even gratitude, told him this moment was different. As Harold knelt, the lion's head lifted, their eyes met, and for one breathless second, the world held still. Then slowly Lewin lowered his head once more, eye resting it gently on the grass. Permission granted, Harold worked in silence, dabbing the raw wounds with cloth and balm around them. The monkeys gathered once again, but this time they did not chatter or tease. They formed a circle, hushed, respectful. Chuckles crept close gingerly, plucking burrs from Rue's mane. Others followed, picking away thorns, brushing dust from his fur. For nearly an hour, man, monkey, and lion coexisted, a scene so improbable. It might have belonged to myth, but it was real here in the golden light of the wild. The lines between fear and trust blurred, and for one perfect moment, nature was whole. By morning, the sun rose strong and unfiltered, casting long shadows across the clearing. Lewin stirred, his legs stiff and bruised, trembled as he pushed against the earth with one mighty heave. He stood unsteady but upright. Elias watched from a distance, arms crossed, heartful. Shidukelas and his troop clung to low branches nearby their faces, alert, eyes wide. The lion looked around once at the tree that had held him, the man who had freed him, and the monkeys who had against all odds become his saviors. Then slowly Lewin turned to the open savanna with a final glance, a long lingering look that seemed to say, "I remember." He walked forward, his great mane catching the wind. His tail swayed like a banner reclaimed, full of defiant pride. The monkeys erupted into a wild cheer, leaping from branch to branch in joyous celebration. Chuckles grinned and tapped his chest twice, a silent salute. Later that day, Harold marked the site and alerted the authorities. Another trap dismantled, another life spared. That night, as he sat by his desk with pen in hand, he reflected on the lesson the wild had taught him once again. Harold wrote, "Today, I witnessed more than survival. I saw compassion that transcended species. A lion was saved not by a man alone, but by 10 small hearts who once mocked him and ultimately became his heroes." In the heart of the savannah, where life is so often written in tooth and claw, this moment reminds us that nature still holds space for mercy and for wonder. A lion ensnared by cruelty was not saved by strength, but by the smallest of allies. In the language of the wild, there are few words, yet countless powerful gestures. Today, we witness one of the most extraordinary. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.